Hello, this is old Mr. Kent of MrKent.com. And if you haven't been following my channel, my son and his family moved out into what is called horse country, out on the edge of all the HOA areas and stuff. And he invited me and my sweetie to sell our house and begin the process of moving into a fifth wheel parked out on his property. So we've been making several trips back and forth each week, and it's only about 4 miles away, and there are 2 routes by which we can get there. And this is one of the routes. Now this was closed for about a week, and this video we won't worry about dates, but this video was made on Friday, and it was supposed to be opened up again on Thursday. But you can see it's not opened up. And the interesting thing is the other route is scheduled to be closed for construction on Saturday. And this is Friday. And so we're kind of concerned at this point in time, how are we going to be able to get out there? And also, how are first responders going to be able to get out there? So I took off from the cement plant, which I've got several videos on that, and flew out here on Friday morning. And as I was out there filming, a cement truck drove up to be refilled. And I've made at least 3 videos, got up early in the morning so I could come out and get a video of a truck backing in there and filling up with concrete. So here he is backing in, and I was pretty excited because I've tried so many times. And of course they back in there, and then all the machinery and everything there fills his truck up with concrete. Well, I hung around there with my Mavic Air 2 for about 10 minutes, and finally I got to see him come out, get in the truck. And then what they do is they drive out, and then you'll see in the moment here, in the lower left-hand corner, there's a place where they can wash off the truck, get all the splattered concrete off of it so it looks nice when they go out to make their delivery. And so I was kind of excited because I have waited so long to be able to get this shot made. But he's not going to he's not going to make a delivery. I don't know what he was doing, but anyway, at least you got to see how I got to see how they do it. Now, this is Saturday morning, and as you can see, they have figured out a way to get around that big hole in the middle of the road. My wife said probably what they'll do is drive around it, and she was right. And so now it's possible for us to get out to my son's house, even if that other road is closed. And by the way, this was made on Saturday, and that other road is closed at this time. And so the good news is we were able to go out and spend Father's Day weekend out at my son's house. And so I was, as I was turning around to come back, I realized that I could fly you guys up to get a view of the closed road, because it's only a mile away. And if you look down, I'm flying, the drone is flying over the top of me. There's my landing pad down there. And up on the left side there, that's my favorite flying place. That's the Queen Creek Wash, which I have flown up and down a lot. And then we're going to make a right turn here, and we're going to head east to about 1 mile away is the road which has the construction on it, and there's another cement plant up there. And many, many times I have flown this route right here. It's a good route to take in order to do some range measurements. And so I've done some flights where check the range to where you lose connection and so forth. And flown along here. Well, let's see. I did it with my Bebop 2. I did it with my Mavic 2 Zoom. I've done it with my Mavic Mini. And so I thought, well, I'm just going to fly up here manually, not trying to find the range, and when I get up to that where all that dust and smoke is coming from, I'll get up there and I'll get a video of the construction going on, which is why the road is closed. So this route, I just fly straight up here, and when I get to the road, I'll fly down the road and be able to get a video of the construction and why the road is closed. And like I said, that's a second cement plant there. Now, interesting thing took place as I was flying along, and of course, you know, it was getting a mile away. That's actually a mile away. That road is, and so, you know, I was getting out to where the range was, you know, it could get a little bit, it could start breaking up. And as I'm going along here, right about in here somewhere, watch what happens to my drone. It's going to swing to the right just a little bit. And I thought, and it stopped. And I thought, oh, did I lose connection? But then I looked at my screen and I had a good connection. And so I thought, well, I'll just give it a try. So you can see it moves a little bit to the right again, like I'm being pushed sideways. So now watch what happens. You notice I'm backing up rapidly. But before I leave, I wanted to give you a good shot of, as best I could get, of the construction there on the road. And that there's a whole bunch. I'll just point to it right there, is where the construction is and why the road is closed. But let me show you why I turned around. Here's the screenshot, okay? Now watch close and listen. Here's where I backed up, put it in normal mode. I'll try again here.
Authorization zone re-edged.
Exit promptly. I was in a no-fly zone. So, you want to see it again?
Authorization zone re-edged.
So I exited promptly and went home. I could not figure out where the no-fly zone came from until I got home and I looked at Google Earth. There's the construction site right there. And if you'll notice, we have a little airstrip up here, an old abandoned airstrip. Let me tell you more about that old abandoned airstrip. Well, when I got my Bebop 2 drone in 2017, I got on Google Earth trying to find some place to go fly my drone. And just north of where I lived, I discovered this abandoned airstrip. As it turns out now, it's no longer abandoned, it's being used, but during the Second World War, it was an auxiliary strip to what was then known as Williams Field, which no longer, it's called Phoenix Mesa Gateway Airport, and it's much larger than it was. But that between Second World War and this point in time, it was a place for cows to graze. It was a heliport. In fact, I'll put some references to the history of that field because it's been used for a lot of things. And then it was abandoned, and now, as of May 5th or May 21st, which is about a month before this was made, it was actually brought back into usage by the Army. So I made this video when I learned about it, and back then, of course, I was able to fly over the airstrip. So this was the main runway, and then over to the right there used to be buildings, and like I said, I did some research, and you can I'll put some links to where you can look to see where they had buildings there, and they serviced helicopters. And these are pictures from Williams Field back in 1941, and 25% of all the pilots that flew in the war were trained at this field, and a lot of them never came home. And these were some postcards that the soldiers could send home. They trained bomber pilots at Williams Field. So anyway, I hope you'll check it out because it's a very interesting history, and I'll put plenty of links at the bottom in the description so you can look at some of the things. So that's my story. Long video here. I apologize for that, but I want to thank you for watching, and God bless.